Have you ever wondered why, out of millions of videos, this exact one caught your attention today? What if I told you it wasn't just random algorithms or chance, but something far more profound? A connection between you and the version of yourself already experiencing unlimited abundance. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. You see, when you clicked on this video, you sent a powerful signal to the universe. Not just any signal, but one that says, I'm ready. Ready to step into alignment with the version of you who isn't constantly checking bank balances or worrying about next month's bills. Has this ever happened to you? That strange feeling of being pulled towards something without fully understanding why? That's because deep within the quantum field, the invisible realm where all possibilities exist simultaneously, there's already a version of you living the financial reality you've been dreaming about. This isn't wishful thinking or New Age philosophy. It's precisely what Florence Scovel Shinn taught decades ago when she revealed how our assumptions, when persisted in, eventually harden into fact. Think about it for a moment. Every morning, that wealthy version of you wakes up with a profound sense of peace and certainty about money. They don't hope for financial miracles or anxiously check their accounts. They exist in a state where abundance is simply their baseline reality, their normal. And right now, you're being invited to step into that same energy field. What you're about to discover might surprise you because it goes against everything conventional wisdom teaches about creating wealth. Most people believe they need to chase money, struggle for it, sacrifice for it. But what if the truth is exactly the opposite? What if the key to manifesting large sums of money isn't about the chase at all, but about embodying the energy of already having it? Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to show you how to stop trying to convince the universe that you deserve wealth, and instead convince yourself, which is where the real magic happens. I'll reveal why most manifestation attempts fail, and the subtle but critical shift that changes everything. You didn't stumble upon this content by accident. Something within you recognized a frequency, a vibration that matches where you're heading, not where you've been. That recognition is your higher self, gently nudging you toward alignment with the version of you who already lives in abundance. Now imagine for a moment what it would feel like to log into your accounts and see numbers so substantial they make you smile. Not because it's surprising, but because it feels right, natural, like coming home to yourself. That feeling isn't as far away as you might think. In fact, it's just a frequency shift away. The wealthy version of you isn't some distant future possibility. They exist right now, waiting for you to simply step into their reality. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, starting with understanding the profound truth about how reality actually works. If you resonated with this wealth consciousness approach, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos on how to further embody your abundant self. You see, what Florence Scovel Shinn discovered decades ago remains one of the most profound hidden truths about our reality. The world doesn't respond to what we want. It responds to what we assume to be true. This is the essence of the law of assumption, and it's transforming lives once you truly grasp its power. Think about how most people approach their financial journey. They hope things will get better. They wish for that promotion or unexpected windfall. They pray that somehow, some way, their situation will improve. But here's the revelation that changed everything for me. Hope is actually the energy of lack. When you say, I hope this works out, you're unconsciously broadcasting to the universe, I don't have it yet. And the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, simply reflects back that exact frequency, the frequency of not having. This is why so many people remain stuck in the same financial patterns despite their best efforts and positive thinking. The mindset shift required here is subtle, but incredibly powerful. Instead of hoping for wealth, you must make the decision to assume it as your current reality, not your future reality, but your present state of being. This isn't about denial or pretending. It's about understanding the mechanics of manifestation at their core. I remember when I first implemented this principle in my own life. I was drowning in debt, constantly worried about money, and nothing seemed to be working. The impact came when I stopped saying, "I want financial freedom," and started embodying, "I am financially free." My circumstances didn't change overnight, but my energy did, and that made all the difference. Behind the scenes of every manifestation is this fundamental principle. Your assumptions, when persisted in, harden into fact. Not because of magic or mysticism, but because your assumptions dictate your energy determines your actions, and your actions create your results. It's a natural law as reliable as gravity. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by examining what happens in your body when you shift from hoping to assuming. Because this isn't just a mental exercise, it's a complete energetic transformation that affects every cell, every decision, every interaction you have with money. Most people make the critical error of trying to affirm wealth while their nervous system is still programmed for scarcity. They say the right words but feel the wrong feelings. They intellectually understand abundance but emotionally live in lack. And in this inner conflict, lack always wins until you learn to embody wealth at the level of identity. The wealthy version of you doesn't hope for opportunities, they expect them. They don't wish for financial breakthroughs, they assume them as inevitable. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment with a truth that already exists in the quantum field. And your journey to that alignment begins with recognizing where your current assumptions might be creating the very financial reality you're trying to escape. If this resonates with you on a deep level, write in the comments, "Assumption becomes my reality, so I know you're tracking with this life-changing principle." Let's explore what actually happens when you persist in an assumption. Florence Scovel Shinn wasn't just sharing spiritual philosophy, she was revealing a blueprint for reality creation. When you truly assume that money flows to me easily and hold that assumption without wavering, you're not just engaging in positive thinking, you're activating a profound transformation at the subatomic level. Your persistent assumptions are like seeds planted in fertile soil. At first, nothing appears to be happening on the surface. This is where most people abort the process, assuming it isn't working. But beneath the surface, roots are forming, molecules are rearranging, and a new reality is taking shape. The germination period between assuming and manifesting isn't empty space. It's where the real alchemy happens. The revelation that changed my entire journey with manifestation was understanding that this process operates on quantum principles, not wishful thinking. Every thought you consistently think creates neural pathways in your brain. Every emotion you regularly feel changes your biochemistry. Every assumption you persist in literally reshapes your energy field. And that field is what reality responds to. But here's the breakthrough insight that most manifestation teachers miss. The reason most people fail isn't that they don't understand the way process intellectually. It's that they're engaging in what I call surface-level assumption. They're performing abundance rather than embodying it. Behind the scenes of every successful manifestation is a complete alignment between your conscious mind, your subconscious programming, and your physical body. Most people are walking contradictions, speaking prosperity while their shoulders are hunched in scarcity, affirming abundance while their stomach is tight with anxiety about bills. This inner conflict is detectable at an energetic level. It's like broadcasting on two different radio frequencies simultaneously and wondering why you're getting static instead of a clear signal. The universe doesn't respond to your words or even your conscious thoughts. It responds to your dominant vibration, which includes your subconscious beliefs, your emotional baseline, and your physical state. This journey of alignment with your wealthy self continues beyond this video. Subscribe now to join our community of conscious creators who are stepping into their abundant reality together. I'd love to have you with us. The mindset shift required is moving from performance to embodiment. This isn't about convincing others you're wealthy. It's about convincing yourself at the deepest level. When your cells believe it, when your nervous system is calibrated to it, when your identity is aligned with it. That's when the external world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. I discovered that the key difference between those who manifest consistently and those who struggle isn't knowledge or technique. It's authenticity. When you genuinely feel wealthy before the money arrives, when you move through the world with the quiet confidence of someone who knows abundance is their birthright, that's when doors begin opening in seemingly miraculous ways. Let's explore how to bridge this gap between intellectual understanding and embodied knowing. How to move from merely affirming wealth to becoming a living, breathing expression of it. Because once your whole being is aligned with abundance, you'll notice something fascinating. The universe starts responding not to what you're asking for, but to who you've become. If you recognize this disconnect between what you say you believe and what your body actually feels, write in the comments, ready for full alignment, and let's continue this journey together. So what does it really mean to act as if? There's a profound misconception here that has sabotaged countless manifestation journeys. Most people interpret this principle as putting on a performance, pretending to be wealthy while knowing deep down they're not. But that's precisely why it often doesn't work. The universe doesn't respond to your acting skills, it responds to your energetic truth. The breakthrough revelation is that acting as if isn't about pretending at all. It's about recognition and resonance. In the quantum field, every possible version of you already exists, including the version who has financial abundance beyond your current imagination. This isn't metaphorical. Quantum physics has demonstrated that particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. Your consciousness works in a similar way. When you genuinely act as if, you're not fabricating a fake reality. You're tuning into a frequency that already exists. You're aligning your current awareness with the version of you who already experiences wealth as their normal. This subtle distinction makes all the difference between manifestation that works and wishful thinking that doesn't. I've noticed in my own journey and in working with thousands of clients that there comes a pivotal moment, a decision point, where your old story about money simply stops fitting who you've become. It's like wearing clothes you've outgrown. They restrict your movement and no longer represent your identity. Your narrative about money being scarce, difficult, or something you have to struggle for suddenly feels foreign to your evolving consciousness. This dissonance is actually a powerful signpost on your transformation path. It means you're at the edge of a paradigm shift. When your old beliefs create discomfort, it's because your energy has already begun resonating with a new possibility. The discomfort isn't something to avoid. It's evidence of your expansion. Behind the scenes of every financial breakthrough is this moment of narrative collapse, where the story you've been telling yourself about money simply can't contain who you're becoming. The mindset that served you at one stage of your journey becomes the very limitation preventing your next evolution. What's happening energetically is fascinating. Your vibrational signature is already shifting to match that of your wealthy self, but your conscious mind is often the last to get the memo. You might still be thinking scarcity thoughts while your energy body is already recalibrating to abundance. This creates a temporary turbulence that many mistake for failure when it's actually a sign of imminent breakthrough. The key insight here is understanding that this tipping point isn't something to push through. It's something to surrender into. Rather than forcing the old story to work better, allow it to dissolve completely. The wealthy version of you doesn't have to convince themselves they're abundant. They simply are. Their decisions, posture, tone of voice, and energy naturally express this truth without effort. Let's explore what happens when you fully release the identity that's anchored to financial struggle and step into resonance with your quantum wealthy self, the version of you that already exists beyond time and space. If you're feeling that inner knowing that your old money story just doesn't fit who you're becoming anymore, write "I'm outgrowing limitation" in the comments. Have you noticed those strange coincidences happening in your life lately? The repeating numbers on license plates or digital clocks? That perfect song lyric playing at exactly the moment you needed to hear it? The name of a book or concept appearing 3 times in a single day? These aren't random glitches in the matrix. They're profound signposts on your journey of alignment. When you begin shifting your energy field to match that of your wealthy self, the universe responds with these synchronicities as confirmation. Think of them as breadcrumbs leading you toward your aligned reality. They're cosmic whispers saying, yes, you're tuning into the right frequency. Keep going. The revelation here is that these signs often appear before any physical evidence of wealth manifests. They're the bridge between energetic shift and material reality. Behind the scenes of manifestation is this fascinating intermediate phase where the quantum field begins reorganizing before your 3D reality catches up. Most people miss these subtle signals entirely or dismiss them as meaningless coincidences. But when you recognize them as confirmation of your expanding consciousness, they become powerful allies in maintaining your new vibration. Now, let's address perhaps the most fundamental paradigm shift required for true manifestation. Moving from, I'll believe it when I see it, to I see it because I believe it. This reversal represents a complete transformation in how you understand reality creation. The conventional mindset waits for external evidence before adjusting internal beliefs, but this approach keeps you locked in your current circumstances. The breakthrough insight shift, the moment when wealth consciousness stops being something you practice and becomes who you are. It's like the difference between learning to play piano and becoming a pianist. One is an activity you engage in. The other is your identity. This transformation doesn't happen in a flash of light or with dramatic fanfare. It occurs gradually through consistent alignment until one day you realize you're no longer working to maintain an abundant frequency. You're simply emanating it naturally. Your body has memorized this state. Your nervous system has integrated it. Your energy field has stabilized in this new configuration. The revelation that changed everything in my own journey was recognizing that this quantum shift isn't something you make happen through force or discipline. It's something you allow to happen through surrender and alignment. It's the natural consequence of repeatedly choosing the wealthy perspective until it becomes your default. What's happening beneath the surface during this transition is fascinating. Neurologically, you're creating such strong neural pathways for abundance that they become your brain's preferred routes. Energetically, you're calibrating your field to a specific frequency until it holds that resonance without effort. Psychologically, you're integrating wealth into your core identity until it's no longer a destination, but your starting point. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by addressing one of the most common ways people unknowingly sabotage their manifestation journey. Even after doing everything else right, shifting their energy, embodying wealth consciousness, living as if, many still block their momentum by obsessing over exactly how the money will arrive. They wonder, will it come through a promotion, a new client, an investment, a windfall? They spend hours contemplating and worrying about the specific mechanisms of manifestation. And in that very process, they shift themselves from the already done state back into the still waiting state. Think about it. If you already had millions in your account, would you be constantly wondering how the next dollar will arrive? Of course not. You'd be focused on what to do with your wealth, not how to get it. By fixating on the how, you're unconsciously broadcasting that you don't truly believe it's done. You're still in pursuit mode, still in lack. The mindset breakthrough here is understanding that the quantum field responds to your what, the wealth itself, not your how, the specific pathway to it. When you specify exactly how money must come to you, you're actually limiting the infinite ways the universe could deliver your manifestation. You're trying to cross an ocean, but insisting on only one specific boat. Behind the scenes of manifestation is this beautiful truth. The universe always finds the path of least resistance. The how that brings your wealth might be something you've never even considered. A synchronicity so perfect, it could never have been planned. Your job isn't to figure out the mechanism. It's to maintain the state of already having while remaining open to all possibilities. If you recognize how trying to control the how has been limiting your manifestation, write "I surrender the how" in the comments. Have you ever noticed this fascinating distinction between those who struggle financially and those who maintain consistent wealth? It's not just about the numbers in their account. It's about what occupies their mental space. When you observe truly wealthy individuals, you'll see they spend almost no time thinking about how to get money. Instead, their mental energy is devoted to how to use money effectively. This shift in focus represents a profound transformation in your relationship with abundance. When you're operating from scarcity, your thoughts constantly revolve around getting more. The next paycheck, the next client, the next opportunity to increase your income. But when you step into the identity of your wealthy self, that preoccupation dissolves. You're no longer fixated on the acquisition of money because that's already your baseline assumption. The revelation that changed my entire approach to wealth was recognizing that this isn't just a psychological trick. It's a reflection of an entirely different identity. If you already had millions in your account, you wouldn't wake up wondering if you'll have enough this month. Your mental bandwidth would be dedicated to more expansive questions. How can I grow what I have? Where should I invest next? What impact do I want to create with my resources? Making decisions from a place of overflow rather than scarcity completely transforms not just the choices themselves, but the energy behind them. When you're no longer motivated by fear of not having enough, your decisions come from a place of empowerment, purpose, and possibility. This shift in decision-making is one of the most powerful catalysts for expanded wealth. Now I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring what Florence Scovel Shinn meant when she taught that true assumption means no longer looking for signs. This insight takes the manifestation journey to an entirely new dimension of mastery. When you first begin practicing the law of assumption, it's natural to look for confirmation that it's working, to search for signs that your new reality is coming. You get excited when you see repeating numbers or encounter unexpected opportunities. These synchronicities are indeed valuable markers on your path, especially in the beginning. But there comes a point in your journey where seeking signs actually keeps you tethered to doubt. Think about it. If you truly believed something was already done, would you need constant reassurance? If you knew with absolute certainty that you were wealthy, would you be looking for proof? The very act of seeking confirmation can subtly reinforce the belief that it isn't yet real. The mindset breakthrough here is understanding that when you truly assume a state, when you fully embody the consciousness of already having wealth, you stop looking for evidence because you're living from the end result. You simply walk through life as if your desired reality is already here, not as a technique to make it happen, but because in your consciousness, it is happening. Behind the scenes of this, evolution is a profound surrender to your new identity. You're no longer trying to manifest wealth. You're simply being wealthy in consciousness first, knowing the physical must follow. This represents complete trust in the creative power of your consciousness and the perfect unfolding of manifestation. If you've recognized how your focus has shifted from getting money to using it wisely, write "wealthy decisions daily" in the comments. Here's where we arrive at one of the most profound distinctions in the manifestation journey: the difference between attracting from a place of wanting versus attracting from a place of being. Most approaches to wealth creation focus on wanting more money, wanting financial freedom, wanting abundance. But wanting, by its very nature, broadcasts the frequency of not having. It's the energy of gap, of separation, of something outside yourself that you're trying to acquire. The transformation occurs when you shift into attracting from a place of being. This is what acting as if really means. Not pretending to be wealthy while knowing you're not, but genuinely shifting your inner posture so that wealth becomes your normal, your baseline, your natural state. You're not trying to get wealth. You are wealth expressed in human form. The revelation that changed everything for me was understanding that this shift in consciousness isn't just philosophical. It creates a tangible energetic signal that the universe responds to. When you emit the frequency of already being wealthy, rather than pursuing wealth, you become a magnet for the corresponding physical reality. Not because you fooled the universe into thinking you're something you're not, but because you've aligned with a version of yourself that already exists in the quantum field. This alignment is about remembering rather than becoming. The wealthy version of you already exists. You're not creating something new, you're tuning into something that already is. And, in that remembrance, your entire presence shifts without effort or pretense. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring what actually happens in the quantum field when you consistently embody wealth consciousness. This isn't metaphorical. It's a description of the mechanics of manifestation at the most fundamental level. When you maintain a consistent state of wealth consciousness, the quantum field literally rearranges itself around that state. This isn't wishful thinking. It's aligned with what quantum physics has revealed about the nature of reality, that particles exist in states of probability until observed, and that observation itself influences the outcome. What this means for your manifestation journey is remarkable. As you consistently embody the state of already having wealth, the field of infinite possibilities begins organizing itself to match that frequency. Opportunities that were always there but invisible to your previous consciousness suddenly become apparent. Money you had forgotten about returns to you in unexpected ways. Goals that seemed impossible from your old perspective now appear completely reasonable from your new vantage point. The mindset breakthrough here is recognizing that these changes aren't coincidences or lucky breaks. They're the natural consequence of your shifted state of being. The universe isn't rewarding you for good behavior. It's responding to your energetic broadcast with perfect precision, like a track's like isn't just a nice saying. It's describing the fundamental operating principle of reality creation. Behind the scenes of manifestation is this beautiful orchestration where your inner state creates a resonant field that draws corresponding experiences toward you. The journey isn't about making things happen through force. It's about becoming so aligned with your desire that it has no choice but to manifest. If you've experienced this shift from wanting wealth to being wealth, share "I am abundance" embodied in the comments. Here's where many people encounter a significant challenge on their manifestation journey: maintaining the new frequency they've established. You've done the inner work. You've shifted your energy. You've aligned with your wealthy self. And then something happens that seems to contradict your new reality. A bill arrives, an expense occurs, a deal falls through. And suddenly, the old frequency comes rushing back in, whispering doubts. See? Nothing's really changed. This isn't working. You're just fooling yourself. This moment represents a critical crossroads in your transformation. The old frequency will always attempt to pull you back to familiar territory. Not because it's malicious, but because your nervous system is designed to maintain what's known, even if what's known isn't serving you. These doubts about timing and reality are like gravity trying to pull a rocket back to Earth just as it's breaking free of the atmosphere. The revelation that transformed my journey was recognizing that listening to these doubts isn't just a momentary setback. It's literally stepping out of the wealthy reality you've been cultivating and back into the waiting room. Each time you entertain these thoughts, you're energetically declaring, "I'm not really there yet. I'm still waiting for proof." And that declaration becomes your broadcast to the universe. The mindset breakthrough is understanding that doubt isn't just an emotional state. It's an active choice to realign with your old frequency. And in that moment of challenge, you have the power to make a different choice, to remain steadfast in your wealthy identity regardless of temporary appearances. This isn't denial. It's recognizing that physical reality takes time to catch up to energetic shifts. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring a powerful strategy for staying anchored in your new frequency, even when external circumstances seem to contradict it. The key is making your wealthy self your most familiar self. Most people treat their wealthy identity as a distant aspiration, a stranger they're trying to become. But transformation accelerates when you make this identity your closest companion, your most intimate relationship. Begin by consciously rehearsing how your wealthy self would react in various situations. How would they respond to unexpected expenses? What language would they use when talking about money? What would their facial expression be when checking their accounts? What decisions would they make about investments, purchases, or opportunities? This practice isn't about pretending, it's about programming. Each time you consciously choose the reaction, language, and feelings of your wealthy self, you're creating neural pathways that make that response more natural and accessible. You're literally rewiring your brain to make wealth consciousness your default setting. The journey of identity transformation requires this deliberate rehearsal until the new identity becomes more familiar than the old one. It's like learning any new skill. At first, it feels foreign and requires conscious effort, but with consistent practice, it becomes second nature. Your wealthy self isn't someone you're trying to become. It's someone you're remembering you already are. What's happening beneath the surface during this practice is a profound recalibration of your subconscious programming. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what you're vividly imagining and what you're physically experiencing. Each time you rehearse your wealthy self's reactions, you're creating memory imprints that your subconscious accepts as real experience. If you've begun the practice of consciously responding as your wealthy self would, write "identity shift activated" in the comments. One of the most profound insights from quantum physics is that every possible reality already exists in potential form before it manifests in your physical experience. This isn't metaphorical. It's a scientific understanding of how reality operates at its most fundamental level. The wealthy version of your life, with all its abundance and ease, already exists in the quantum field as a complete possibility. It's not something you need to create from scratch. It's something you need to tune into and align with. Think of it like a radio dial, with infinite stations broadcasting simultaneously. The station where you're wealthy isn't something that will exist someday in the future. It's broadcasting right now. Your job isn't to build the station. It's to tune your receiver to that frequency and maintain that tuning long enough for your physical reality to reorganize around it. The revelation that transformed my understanding was recognizing that manifestation isn't a process of creation, but a process of selection. You're not making something out of nothing. You're selecting which existing potential becomes your experience through the frequency you consistently maintain. This completely shifts how you approach the manifestation journey, from trying to force something new into existence to allowing something that already exists to become visible. When you fully grasp this principle, patience takes on a new meaning. You're not waiting for something to happen. You're holding steady while the invisible becomes visible. It's like developing a photograph in a dark room. The image is already there on the paper. It just needs time and the right conditions to reveal itself. Your job is to maintain the frequency of wealth long enough for the physical to catch up with the energetic. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring one of the most fascinating aspects of this transition period, the appearance of strange synchronicities as your new reality approaches. As the gap between your energetic state and your physical reality begins to close, the universe starts sending unmistakable signals that transformation is underway. You might notice strangers randomly saying phrases that directly relate to what you've been focusing on. Number sequences like 111, 222, or 555 seem to follow you everywhere. On clocks, license plates, receipts. Dreams become unusually vivid, often featuring elements of the wealthy lifestyle you're embodying. Song lyrics suddenly seem to be speaking directly to your situation. These aren't coincidences. They're what I call reality bleed-through, the edges of your new reality beginning to peek through the veil. The mindset breakthrough is learning to recognize these synchronicities not as random occurrences, but as confirmation that you're on the bridge between realities. They're signposts telling you, keep going, it's working, the gap is closing. Most people dismiss these signs as meaningless coincidences, but when you understand the mechanics of manifestation, you recognize them as the quantum field responding to your shift in consciousness. These synchronicities often intensify just before physical manifestation occurs, like the pressure building before a breakthrough. It's as if the universe is saying, "Can you feel it? Your reality is about to shift. The journey of transformation includes learning to trust these subtle signals rather than demanding concrete proof before believing. Behind the scenes of manifestation is this fascinating interplay between the seen and unseen, where your physical reality is constantly trying to catch up to your energetic state. And these strange coincidences are evidence that the catching up is well underway. If you've been noticing these reality bleed-throughs in your life lately, write, "The veil is thinning" in the comments. We've explored many dimensions of this wealth consciousness journey, but now I want to focus on perhaps the most pivotal insight of all, the understanding that all of these practices aren't about proving anything to the universe. They're about proving it to yourself. The universe already knows your infinite potential. It's your own belief system that needs convincing. When I say, act like it's already done, I'm not suggesting you engage in some elaborate performance for the cosmic forces. I'm inviting you to create evidence for your own consciousness. Each time you walk with the posture of someone who knows their financial security is handled, each time you order your coffee without anxiously checking the price, each time you check your emails expecting good news rather than problems, you're building a case file for your subconscious mind that says, "This is real." The transformation happens because your subconscious doesn't distinguish between actual experiences and vividly imagined ones. When you consistently act as if wealth is already yours, your nervous system begins recording these actions as reality. It's literally rewiring your identity from the inside out. This isn't pretending, it's reprogramming at the deepest level. Think about how different your entire presence becomes when you're genuinely operating from the assumption that wealth is already yours. There's a subtle but unmistakable shift in your eyes, your voice, your gestures, all broadcasting a frequency that others can feel. This isn't something you can fake. It emerges naturally from your conviction. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by sharing what I believe is the most powerful wealth affirmation I've ever encountered. It completely transforms your relationship with manifestation by removing all chasing energy. Wealth already knows where I live. Feel the profound paradigm shift in that statement. It's not saying, "I'm trying to attract wealth," or "I hope wealth finds me someday." It's declaring that wealth, as an energy, as a consciousness, as a reality, already knows exactly where to find you. It doesn't need to be pursued, convinced, or struggled for. It knows your address. This affirmation works on multiple levels. First, it immediately removes the desperate pursuit energy that actually repels manifestation. Second, it positions you not as the seeker, but as the sought, the one wealth is naturally drawn to. Third, it creates a magnetic frequency that assumes connection rather than separation. Behind the scenes, what's happening when you truly embody this statement is remarkable. You're literally declaring to your nervous system and to the quantum field, "I don't need to chase or grasp. I can relax in the knowing that abundance is already on its way to me." This shifts your entire energy signature from one of lack to one of expectant allowing. When wealth already knows where you live, you no longer need to frantically wave your arms to get its attention. You can simply open the door and welcome it home. This isn't passive waiting, it's active allowing, maintaining the precise frequency that makes you findable by the wealth that's already seeking you. If this perspective represents a complete revolution in how you've been thinking about manifestation, write, "My address is clear," in the comments. You've stayed with me this entire journey, and that's not by chance. Something within you recognized the truth of what we've been exploring, that wealth truly does already know where you live. And now that you've absorbed these principles, I want you to notice how differently you move through your day tomorrow. Watch how your energy shifts, how your decisions change, how opportunities seem to appear that weren't visible before. This transformation we've begun together doesn't end when this video stops. In fact, it's just beginning to take root in your consciousness. If you felt that inner knowing, that resonance with what we've discussed today, make this connection official by subscribing to continue this journey of wealth consciousness with me. Each video builds on these fundamental truths, taking you deeper into embodiment. When you truly get what we've explored today, you'll notice the universe responding differently to your presence. Drop wealth. Has my address in the comments if you're committed to maintaining this frequency we've established together. Your comment becomes a declaration, a signal to both your conscious mind and the quantum field that you're no longer waiting or hoping, but knowing. If this conversation has expanded your perspective, leave a like, not for me, but as a signal to yourself that you're aligning with this new frequency. Each action you take, even something as simple as clicking that like button, can be done from your wealthy state of being. There's a video right here that takes these principles even deeper, revealing the next stage of this journey once you've fully embodied wealth consciousness. Click and continue with me there, because this is just the beginning of what happens when you stop chasing wealth and start emanating